Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel to another film review. Tonight we're looking at another Hammer horror film, and we're looking at a great one that I love, and it's not on everyone's sort of favourite sort of list. In fact, a lot of people don't like it, but I love it. And it's Christopher Lee in To the Devil a Daughter. Now this is one of Hammer's later sort of stories, and it deals with the satanic, which is a subject that wasn't really touched upon. Yes, you have it with Dracula. Obviously, there's a lot of Satanism in the Dracula franchise, but this one goes along the lines of the time period of when it was really popular. We had Rosemary's Baby, we had The Exorcist, we had The Omen, we had all these sort of satanic films out and about in the world. So Hammer wanted to be a part of it, and they produced two wonderful films, and this is one of them, called To the Devil a Daughter, where Christopher Lee plays a priest. And we, at the beginning of the film, he's at his church, and there's like a service there, and he's sort of giving daggers to Jesus, the statue of Jesus. And he's in this sort of area of I believe in Germany, on this like remote little island, with in this sort of like convent where there's these nuns and that there. And that's where we also meet Natasha Kinski, who's this young beautiful nun who is in and under Christopher Lee's power, and she's been sent off the island to return to fulfill her duties. She heads off towards the airport, and she's supposed to meet her father. Now her father's been very naughty, if you like. He's been getting mixed up with Satanists and stuff like that, and he's trying to protect his daughter from there, but he knows that these Satanists are after him. So he calls on a friend of his, played by Richard Widmark, who's like an author, who's written books about the devil and things like this, and he's called on his assistants to help him and take care of his daughter. So he goes and meets her at the airport, and he sort of like dashes her away from the grips of these Satanists, and to his little, I wouldn't say humble abode, because it's a very nice abode in St Catherine's Dock in Tower Hamlets of London. And whilst he's there, he's sort of unpicking all the story from her bit by bit by bit, and she's very, very quiet and sedate. And then she starts talking to him and starts telling, why she couldn't meet her dad, because her dad didn't turn up, and all this kind of thing going on, because she only gets to see him once a year, her birthday and all this, and it's her 18th birthday. And while this is all going on, Christopher Lee has also now come into the frame, and has come into this area, and with a pregnant lady at this manor house, and they're doing this sort of ceremonial birth of this baby, where she's been tied up to the bed and having her legs tied together and trying to give birth. So it's a very painful sort of experience for her, and she gives birth, and we don't see the child. Christopher Lee's very, very happy. He has a big grin on his face, and they put the baby into the incubator, and then they kill off the mother and take the baby away. And meanwhile, while all this is going on, the Satanists have caught up with our Natasha Kinski's dad, and have raided his house. And he's on the phone, and he sees them, and then the hustle bustle breaks out, and her dad kills this Satanist that's been following him around. And while this is all going on, and this birth going on of this baby, Natasha Kinski in London is having a reaction to it in her sleep. She's sort of visualizing it in her sleep, and she's sort of almost recreating the birth, and sort of like suffering the pain that this mother is going through at the same time, while this is making Christopher Lee extremely happy. And then when it's all over, she has very vague memories of it. And then they take the baby off they fly with the baby. I believe that they're in England now, and they're doing this ceremony with the baby at this sort of church. I think they're trying to sacrifice it of some sort, and this puts Natasha Kinski into a hypnotic sort of mode, and she leaves Richard Widmark's flat as he left out, and he left her in the care of his friend and his partner, and she sort of like leaves the flat, and he sees her. He sees her wandering around the streets, and she's opened her birthday present from, and this birthday present is a sort of satanic symbol of their Lord that they follow, with an upside down cross, and she's wearing it, and it's hypnotized her. So Richard Widmark catches up with her, and he rips the necklace off her, and she breaks out of the spell, and it also affects the ceremony that Christopher Lee is performing at this time. So what is happening? I'm not going to tell you any more of the plot because I don't want to ruin it for you, but it's a very, very wonderful slow burn satanic sort of film along the lines of Rosemary's Baby, The Ninth Gate, all these sort of wonderful satanic films. It's along those sort of lines, but it's fantastic to see Hammer delve out of the gothic, out of the camp films to a more serious kind of subject matter in the horror genre, and they did it really well. Like I said, this came out in the fall of The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby and The Omen. All of these films were appearing popular, and as Hammer were sort of at this stage of failing company, because nobody wanted to see these sort of gothic sort of horror films anymore in the 70s. They had to do something, and they come up with To the Devil a Daughter. Now this is a Studio Canal edition release on double play, which has got a Blu-ray and a DVD. The pluses of it looks stunning. The actual transfer on it is absolutely amazing, and it looks really, really cool. And it's such a wonderful cast. We have Richard Widmark, we have Christopher Lee, we have Honor Blackman. There's so many sort of wonderful actors and actresses in this film, and as it plays out, we get to know these characters and their role within the actual satanic sort of club, if you seem to say. Like it's that their own church. They call it the Church of Our Lord, and and obviously it's not to do with anything else but a satanic group. And obviously she's been quite blasé about it, thinking it's a church, but it's not. It's a satanic group that she's been brought up in as a nun, and now her duty has come to serve her church. So it's really, really cool. It's so different for them to delve within quite a deep subject matter. It is an 18. It does contain some gore, and it does contain some sort of satanic and ritual ceremonies and some nudity in the film. So that is why it's an 18. And it's an amazing, amazing film. It's one of... It was in my top 10. I'm sure it was in my top 10. Or it might have been just out of the top 10. You have to check that out. It's on my channel. I can't remember because I've got a memory like a sieve. But this is absolutely a fantastic film. Absolutely wonderful to watch. It's gripping. Yes, it's slightly slow. Bit of a slow burn. But it's really gripping. And you want to see what the hell is going on. Because at the beginning of the film, it's a little bit everywhere. And you don't know if she is a part of this church or if it's she's going off to be ordained or whatever, because she's going away, and they said, this is what you've been living for. But when you find out it's nothing to do with a church or to be ordained, it's something completely different. It's sort of like you want to follow it through to see what's going to happen. Is Richard Whitmark going to save the day, or is she going to succumb to her duties and Christopher Lee's power of this Satanist group? Amazing. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below what you think of it. Like I said to you, I'm trying to refrain from scoring films at the moment because I've had a few comments on my channel say, "Oh, why do you score films?" Because, you know, your mind might change over time and stuff like that, and they're kind of right. And I was also thinking, if I score a film really high and you buy it, because it's really high to me, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be that high of a really great film to you. So I thought, well, I won't score films. I will just do recommendations, and I highly recommend you watching this film. If you love films like Rosemary's Baby and all those sort of wonderful films, I will highly recommend you watching this one. It's really, really cool. Even if you like films about sort of Catholic horror and all these sort of wonderful sort of films, still watch it, because I think you'll get something out of it. It's not the Catholic horror film, but it's very close to it, and it's really, really cool. And I absolutely really enjoyed it, and I hope you do too, if you decide to dig it out and watch it. It's not expensive. I believe this is about £12 or something for the Blu-ray, and it comes with a wonderful slipcase, and like I said, it comes with Blu-ray and DVD, and it does have extra feature on there, I believe. I'll have a little look for you. Won't be many, because not many Hammer films have extra features on it, but this one does have one on it, I believe. Let's have a little look. It has a new featurette called Dark Arts, Inside to the Devil a Daughter, and it also contains the original trailer, so it's worth delving in to see those extra features as well. So that's pretty cool. Guys, till my next video, please check out some more horror channels for me. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Manview Film, RS Designs, Pizzawell, I'm Ice Lord, Cat watches horror movies, and Andrew's Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House. I knew I'd get it wrong, Andrew, sometime. Check his channel out, and also check out his books. He's wrote a couple of books, and they're fantastic. And a massive shout out to my lad, Lemon Lord. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I see you all soon.